Yeah, so I started undergrad in 2001 and I finished my PhD in 2012.
Okay.
And there was a few like backpacking trips in between.
Sure. So like at that point though, like I know quantum computing kind of, boomed pretty hard in the 90s. So when you were in university studying physics, like what did you actually think you were going to do with it?
I had the sense I wanted to work in industry. I think that was clear to me. Starting university, I thought, oh yeah, I'll be a professor. I think most people probably think that when they start.
Yeah.
At some point along the way, they see the signals and they recognize that there's alternate career paths available. So I think by the time I went to grad school, I was starting to crystallize in my head that I would prefer industry, but I still wanted to do science. So I didn't want to like go and get a PhD and then work at a bank or something. I still wanted to find a way to do science, and ideally the science I was trained to do. So it was a bit of a risk actually when I went to my PhD. I had two options. I could go to Waterloo and study quantum computing. It was a great place to study quantum computing. And it had the benefit that this is some obvious technological development that could take place in the future, and we could potentially have industry careers available for someone trained in this area. Or I could study like astrophysics or string theory or general relativity, something kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, much more sciencey, less industrially applicable. And I guess, the choice that I made was quantum computing, and I'm happy I made it. And when I graduated from my PhD, those jobs weren't available. There was no significant quantum computing industry like there is today.
Yeah.
People who are graduating today might experience something quite different. But when I graduated, definitely it was like, well, what do I do now? Do I stick with it and just hold out until those positions do become available, till that industry does take off, or do I pivot to something else? And fortunately, the timelines align such that right around the time where I was getting too old to be indecisive, the industry started to appear.